Well, with every hour, the search for earthquake survivors in New Zealand grows more desperate. Rescuers try everything they can to reach the hundreds of people buried under the rubble. We have complete coverage of the disaster right here on Day Planner.
Welcome back to Day Planner. We are tracking rain and snow on the radar today. We'll also detail where there is a severe weather threat on Thursday.
That's right, but first, we want to bring you the very latest from Christchurch. Here's what we know right now. Rescuers continue to search for the missing beneath the rubble created by yesterday's 6.3 magnitude quake.
At least 75 people are dead, with an estimated 300 still missing. 48 were rescued overnight. All international flights out of Christchurch's airport have been suspended.
Now, a Los Angeles County Fire Department urban search and rescue unit is en route to New Zealand. The team includes 74 specially trained firefighters, supported by doctors and civil engineers, and 55,000 pounds of equipment. We will continue to bring you the very latest as we get more updates coming into the newsroom. But right now, we're going to get you up to speed on what is happening with the winter weather in the West. Carl?
Yeah, winter's still going strong here across the West, and there is Portland, Oregon, 37 right now. So obviously the snow level is not very high at all, and we are looking for about 4 to 6 inches of snow there in Portland. Very heavy snow through the Cascades, of course, and that's going to reach all the way down into northern California in the next couple of days, including the Bay Area. We're going to get in on some snow there most likely. So here's the water vapor imagery. There's the disturbance right there that we're talking about, which doesn't look like that much right now, but that's going to continue to dig down along the coast here, bringing down plenty of cold air along with it, and the moisture is going to be fed into the system right through here. So we're going to get plenty of snow on top of that, and in some areas that don't typically get that much snow. Light snow showers now coming down across the Cascades and I-5, getting a little bit of rain there as well. That cold air has yet to spill in down into Oregon. It certainly is cold right now, but it's going to get even colder as this low pressure works down the coast. There's the high pressure building in, so plenty of really cold air across the interior West. And again, it continues to come down the coast over the next couple of days, spreading that snow farther southward, gets into northern California by early tomorrow morning, and again drops down towards the Bay Area. Now, there is an advisory for the North Bay Hills. Above about 1,000 feet, we could get a little bit of snow. Some of that may reach down even farther southward. It certainly is going to be really cold aloft, no doubt about that. And as you get way up in elevation, above 2,500 feet, for example, we do get in on a few to several inches of snow. So how much snow are we talking about in total? By the way, snow levels all the way down to the valley floors for most of the Northwest. 4 to 6 again in Seattle and in Portland, 6 to 10 in Medford, much more than that in the Cascades. Quite a bit of snow around McCall and Stanley, easily over a foot there. 12 to 18 in Yellowstone, 5 to 8 in Missoula, and again, really, really cold in Montana. Temperatures are going to be on the order of 30, 40, in some cases nearly 50 degrees below average. Negative numbers for highs here late in the week across the northern part of the plains. So very chilly indeed, but a really different story for much of the rest of the country. And here's Heather with more on that.
Right, Carl, it's not white, but wet that we will see in areas like Memphis. A lot of clouds right now in Memphis. It is 48 degrees. This is one of the places we will be watching closely as we go from today into tomorrow for the threat of some stormy weather and some very heavy downpours. Right now, the downpours aren't heavy. In fact, a lot of this is very light, but we do have some rain pushing here into Tennessee, also Kentucky. We've been seeing some of this around Missouri. St. Louis, of course, you had that terrible accident this morning when some of the roads were a bit icy. Now what you find in St. Louis is clouds and a couple of sprinkles to your south. But we're going to continue to tap into Gulf moisture, and so it's going to be a plenty in terms of the rainfall across the southeast. It is actually beneficial rain. We need the rain in many places, but it is going to come down pretty hard hitting in some cases. And so because of that, we do have concerns of flooding from Memphis all the way into Pittsburgh. We also are concerned about severe weather. And with that, we'll be watching this brighter red area here earlier in the day tomorrow. Then in the evening and overnight hours, that's when we'll be watching some of the darker red areas coming in here. But watch for the threat of isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, and also the possibility of some hail. And we will be following this again, gearing up as we go through the day tomorrow and then continuing as we press into tomorrow night. Now, this is going to drop some very heavy amounts of rain across the area. Memphis, 2 to 3 inches of rain. Nashville, probably 1 to 3. But notice this yellow here. Some of these areas in Kentucky and also Tennessee potentially could see 3 to 5 inches of rain, and some localized areas could see over 5 inches. But as we look here, you will find other places with not quite as much. Asheville, for example, you're one of the places on the lighter end of this mess. Carl?
All right, after this quick break, we will detail where ice, snow, and rain are making a mess of the roads and where you could be in for some trouble on your commute today. A major accident in St. Louis, and we'll have more on that in just a few minutes. And the Wall Street Journal takes a shot at some of the ideas of global warming and weather, but the scientist they quoted says they went too far. What he's telling us next in Earthwatch.
Most automobiles use only insulation to reduce noise. But we take a different approach. We use microphones to detect unwanted engine sounds, then transmit opposing frequencies to eliminate them. Literally fighting sound with sound. Active sound control, available in the Acura TSX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Brought to you by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
At TurboTax, we're all about making taxes easy. Like SnapTax.
Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me. I got the magic, baby. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Yes, it turns to gold. Everybody knows.
It's just one more way you can choose easy.
Where to go for a quiet getaway.
Thanks to the Orbitz Matrix display, you can make more knowledgeable decisions when booking vacation packages. See all your hotel and flight options and savings for the ideal vacation.
Perfect.
When you Orbitz, you know.
Work all week long, punching that clock dust till dawn, counting the days till Friday night. That's when all the conditions are right for a good time.
Advanced technology that helps provide cleaner air, cleaner water, and helps make all of us more energy efficient is something the whole world can get in step with.
I need a good time.
Eco-Imagination from GE. It's technology that makes the world work.
The weather, man.
It's been a crazy winter, and it's just getting crazier.
The weather team.
We have breaking news for you this morning.
We are getting remarkable images and stories.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 11 Eastern. Your daily forecast, news headlines, and the top story.
Literally the worst conditions I think I've ever been in.
Ready when you are, no matter the weather.
9 states under blizzard warnings. 9 states.
Wake up with Al and your weather today. Weekday mornings from 6 to 11 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Through the storm and beyond. The Weather Channel, the Winter Weather Authority. Now your local on the 8s.
West Coast. Things are much quieter now after a storm moved offshore. Washington, D.C., though, picked up about 0.2 of an inch. Not as disruptive as the more than 7 inches that folks saw in Pittsburgh. It's a quiet day right now in both of those cities, but we will find some rain moving back in. In fact, Pittsburgh right now is under a flood watch. So how will that affect travel? Well, today your travel in the Northeast, beautiful here. We've got high pressure in charge, absolutely gorgeous. But we do have a few areas where you're going to find at least some wet roadways. None of this is very hard hitting. It's very light rainfall, but travel on 55, for example. At times, for those of you, say on 44, on 70, we've had some wet conditions. Again, everything is very light. It's really more of a nuisance than anything else at this point. But keep in mind, as we go into tomorrow, we have the threat for severe weather in those areas and some very heavy rainfall. Now, as we look to the northwest, we have snow in some of the higher elevations, rain also in some of the coastal areas, but keep in mind we will see more of a changeover. Some places already seeing some of that, and places like Seattle, more than 5 inches of snow. You're going to see snowfall too in areas like Portland once that rain switches over to some snow as we go into tomorrow. And as you check it out here in the Midwest, some areas of snow. We have it in Fargo. You're going to see some of that moving into the Arrowhead region. Looks like some of that may be around St. Cloud and some of the surrounding cities, and we'll be finding a bit more of that today. Again, maybe a little bit of a nuisance. That's about it. As far as flying, well, right now things throughout most of the country are actually going to look very good. We're not checking in with too many airport delays. As we continue to go into tomorrow, though, what I would do is definitely check ahead. You're going to want to check areas like the south, where here potentially you could see some delays showing up, and then certainly keep your eye too on what's happening here across the west. Carl?
Scientists are investigating the impact of climate change on extreme weather, and as we first reported last night, the Wall Street Journal weighed in, but were they fair about it? The morning of January 27th, 2011, New York is shut down, silenced by another huge snowstorm, just 1 month after the Christmas blizzard. Longtime residents tell us that something is awry.
Well, the weather pattern's changing. It's not like it used to be anymore, you know what I mean?
As do the stats and the weather pattern itself. The jet stream, blocked by warm, unusually strong highs, which are often near melting ice, snakes dramatically, powering storm after storm and revealing a climate change signal. Now, that's a big deal, and for many it's controversial, in part because it changes the very